Okay, so I'm going to show you guys step by step on how to macro a controller for WoW, for a console port. I will eventually get to how to download the console port. I mean, once you download console port from WoW or from Curse Client, okay, you're going to go download console port, okay? I made a video like this before, but maybe I just wasn't clear enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another video to follow video and just on how to do like the macroing on your controller. So what I would do is for console port, once I download the console port from Curse Client, all I really do is I check mark console port. I don't really like the keyboard part of it because I do like to type on my keyboard, like for talking, for letting things in trade. No, it's just easier that way. So what I'll do is I'll just check mark the console port. Okay, when it comes to downloading the client, you want to go to Curse Client, you want to download console port, and then in the description is a little spot or a link for you to get WoW Mapper. You do need WoW Mapper. Once you get WoW Mapper, you want to unzip it. You want to leave all the files in that folder and just go into the folder and click WoW Mapper. Okay, it's going to show like a little W symbol. You just click it, and then there you have your controller. It's hooked up. So, what you need to do now is you want to just do console port if you just want the console and you want to leave the keyboard like a normal keyboard. I still can type on my keyboard with this, but you check it out. Try it for yourself, see if you like it that way, but I just use the console port. Okay, so this is a character I've never hooked up before. I'm going to go about it and I'm going to hook him up. Okay? So, um, what we're going to do when we first log in, you're going to see something on your screen. It's going to say set up calibrate controller. If your controller is already calibrated and you can move stuff around, I just pushed that button over, then you just want to go with recommended settings. Just go to recommended settings, okay? So, now, what you're going to want to do to set up your controllers. Right now you have a recommended settings on your bar. This is not stuff that you put on your bar, but this is just settings that came with the controller and what it turned into for WoW. So, let's say you want to change stuff around. Okay, you don't want these settings. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to want to hit every individual one of these buttons in order to change it. Okay, so I want to change my RB button. I want to make my RB button the very first number 2 on my action bar. Not my multi-action bar, but number 2 on the action bar. So I'm going to go to RB, okay? I am going to get rid of all these. So I'm going to right click all of them because I don't want them this way, okay? Then I'm going to left click, go to action bar, and I'm going to hit action bar number 2, okay? So now RB is for action bar number 2. Now what you also want to do in order for this to work, let's save settings real quick. Let's exit out that because now we already have the settings that the recommended. So now you want to go to your key bindings. Now you want to go to action bar. Now because I put RB for action button number 2, you want to come over here, you want to click that, and then you're going to want to put there. Apparently it's already on there. So, and you want to make sure your character specific key bindings is there. So you go to OK. Because whatever you change here, and if that's not X'd out, it's going to change it on all of your characters. Okay? So you want to make sure it's just character specific key bindings. That way you can change it on here and it won't affect any of your other players. Okay? So, let's go back to another one. Let's return to game. Let's go to controller again. Let's make your LB action button number 1. So what you want to do is you want to go to LB. You want to right click all of these. Okay, get these out of here. And then you're going to want to left click, come over to this one, and then hit action button number 1. There, now you have LB and RB. So those are your 2 main attacks that you could just be spamming, okay, with your bumpers. Okay, so I assume you're getting the hint of that. So let's change it up. Well, let's not change it up. Let's move on to something real quick, and we'll go back to that. So now you want to go to general, okay? Now the way I set it up as Let me show you something. Cursor is censored. Let's click that and I'll show you what the settings are for that. So in other words, when I go over my character with my toggle, see how I'm moving my toggle around? Every time I go over my character, it disappears. I don't like that because when you have quests or you have something pop up and you need to accept the quest, okay, and you go over, it actually disappears. So what I do instead of that is I go to controller and I do cursor is censored, do not lock it when it goes over that. And now because I undid that, I can go over my tune, I could scroll around, I could, now it doesn't do it. So what I did do though is I made it to where my right trigger, okay, every time I hit it twice, the toggle comes out. You see that? You see how it's coming in and out? Okay, so let's bring it back out again so we can get back into this. So now I go to controller again. Now, click to move on target interaction. This is all personal preference. What I did do though was I disabled all of these three right here and this one. Disable smart mouse behavior, if you know what that is. It just, I do believe it's the speed of your mouse. Force auto loot in combat. You do want that because honestly, when you kneel down to loot something, you kind of want to pick it up fast. You don't want to deal with, looking through it all. Unless you don't want to pick up useless things, then enable that. So fast camera zooming, that's all a personal preference on if you want that or not. Now double tap RT or RB to toggle the mouse cursor. Okay, so in other words, what it's saying is when you double tap, like I showed you before, you double tap your trigger, this comes out. Now when I do this one, because I now made RB my number 2 on my action bar, it will no longer bring out my cursor. Although what it will do, if I want to attack something, it will take it out. So I will be ready, but it will not bring it back up. You'll just have to use your right trigger. Okay, so let's go back to the controls again. Now for lock cursor when player starts moving. Now you might want to lock it up. Let's show you what it does right now. Let's save the settings. Now let's start moving. So when I start moving, my cursor goes away. Okay. Sometimes I don't like that because you like to, let's say you're in a BG and you want to get the flag and you want to get those points before someone else can get there. You want to have your cursor out so that you can leave it on there, and then right when you get to that flag, you can begin to turn it ally or horde, whatever you are at the time. So I definitely do not have that one clicked. Okay. Now player changes target. You probably should have that one clicked because you don't want your mouse cursor out when you're fighting. Okay, it's going to make it real difficult. It kind of, I'll show you exactly what happens. So see how because I have the mouse cursor out, I can't move my body to the left or the right. I can only strafe. But when I put it away, I could turn with that right toggle now. You see what I'm saying? Is this making sense? Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to this. Interacting with NPCs. That's personal preference. You don't want it to lock, go for it. When a quest comes up or appears, if you want it to lock, you know what I mean? Jumping. Now, this is another one. Because my jump button is the right toggle, I just push it down. I do want it to lock. So, let me show you what I'm saying. So, let's save settings. Let's see that. I am not going to be able to jump now because I unlocked that. Okay? And I want my jump button to be the right toggle. Okay? So now let's show you again. Now let's do that. Now see how my mouse cursor is out? I want to jump. It should, oh, you know what? Because I didn't set that up yet. Sorry. I haven't set that up yet. So let's go set that up. I haven't done the macro for that yet. So let's go to my right toggle. And then let's go, see, none of these are assigned, so let's go here. Let's go to, I do believe it's movement. Where is my movement here? Okay, so my movement, I think it's in here. Jump, there we go. So now that is connected to my jump. Now let's save the settings. See how my mouse cursor is out. I jump, it goes away. Okay. So that is another way of setting it up. And let's go back to the macroing buttons. Okay. So for example, now let's say I want to set up my B button. Okay. I'm definitely going to get rid of all these. Okay, so for example, when you just add a B button, okay, so my action button number 3 is going to be, it's set up here, so it's going to be Arcane Blast, okay. So if I want to use B for other things, not just for the action bar number 3 here, you're going to want to set up another macro for left trigger B button. So, Scooter, shh. Hold on, let me get my dogs. Scooter, stop it. So what I want to do is, in order to make a B button another alternate button, you're going to want to set up your LTB button. So in other words, what it's saying is when you hold down your left trigger button, you have to hold it down, and then you push B, it's going to be an alternate button. Okay? So therefore, let's say up here is, for my multi-action bar, B is up here also, okay? In this case, it's right B. So what you would do is you'd hold down your right trigger and then you'd push B, okay? Because it's not set up and it's at the recommended settings, it might be a little weird, but that's what you would do. You would make your right trigger and then you'd make the B button. And if you wanted to do another B button, you would have your left trigger.
I need a target.
See?
I need to target something first.
Now, if you want to use the B button for something else, you would have both your triggers down, and then you'd push B again.
That spell is not ready.
And then now you have 4 buttons that you can use the B button for. 4 alternate attacks that you can use B for. Okay? Let's go to let's try something else. I hope this video is helping you guys, because if it isn't, then try to watch it again. Okay, now for all of these buttons, the only ones that you really can't change is going to be your triggers, because your triggers act as a control and shift. So your right trigger would be the control button. For your left trigger, it would be the shift button. So in other words, when you hold down your shift button and you use the keyboard and you push action button number 1, it might be an entirely different button, because now you're holding the shift button. So all of these buttons are able to be used. Because I have the Xbox One app, I don't macro this button up here for anything, because it turns on my camera, what I'm recording with now. So I'm actually recording with an Xbox One app, which is great. I love it. But for any one of these other buttons, including your left toggle button, when you push it down, it can be used for something. Like, for example, let's go to your toggle button. Now you can make 3 buttons, and in order to get rid of what's macroed on there, you just push your right trigger, and then to set it with something, you just push your left trigger, you come over, you figure out which one you want, and you click it, and it shows up on the bar. For example, we're going to change some things around. Let's make it action button 8. So now it's action button 8. You see that, how it went there? But to get rid of it, you just push the right button and it's gone. And it says it was unassigned. Okay? That's simple. I mean, so now, in other words, my button's out. I'm going to hit my right triggers twice. Now it's done. I could jump, because now I've set it up to jump that way on my right toggle by pushing it down. I mean, you could fill up, obviously, you see all these buttons down here. I mean, this is how many buttons you could set up. It's super easy, guys. And once you set it up, you could pretty much macro anything you want on your controller. Like I said, I like using my LB and my RB for my main attacks, because It's
I need
just
a
to
target.
me it's effective. Maybe for you it's not, but you can make it whatever you want. So this is the end of the video, guys. If I helped you at all or if I was confusing, please ask me questions in the comments below. I just wanted to help explain a little bit more about the controller. If I didn't touch upon anything, like if there was other things that like you thought I was gonna get to and I didn't, just let me know in the comments. Now, if we go to interface, this is all your add-ons here that you have that you don't need to mess with. Bindings, like I said, this is your bindings. Now, these right here are gonna show you what they're in place of. So, for example, if you want to change your triggers to your bumpers, go for it. You just have to make your control your left bumper and then your shift your right bumper. So they can't match up together. You can't do them at the same. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't have your shift your left bumper and your control your left bumper. It just they would clash and it just would not work out. So you could change that. For your action bars, this is just a general idea of what it looks like. Interactive button, I always enable it and always interact with mouse over. That's entirely up to you. If you try it, see how it works with you. I don't have that because I don't have curse centered, so this is kind of, I still keep it on there because I do believe it's for other things that I've used in the game, so I do keep it on. But as a general idea of how to use this, it's super easy, guys. Go to it, like we'll set up another one. So right click again, right click, right click, right click, left click, and then pick whatever one you want. Action bar, let's go with that one. See, so now that's my action button. I'll left click it to assign it, and that's it, guys. So let's not save that setting, and let's get out. And thank you for watching. Hit me up if it didn't work out or if it does. But alright, guys, have a good one. See you later, and don't forget to sub and like on my videos. I have videos of me doing brawlers arena, raids. I'm gonna hook up a healer soon, so it'll be all fun. And I love a controller, so alright, guys, sub and like, hit me up. I'm out.